In this tutorial, we'll go over how to use the planning mode to roll out a schedule across many different weeks and link in the lesson plans that we created in the last tutorial. So in the last tutorial, we created this lesson plan with 2 students following the same curriculum that I uploaded and then created 120 lessons, all accurate to the actual curriculum. And now we're going to create a few weeks of the schedule that I want to follow for those weeks. So we'll go ahead and open up planning mode here. You can see that we can build the ideal week for our schedule, roll it out across as many weeks as we'd like, and link the lesson plans that we've just created to that weekly template. So we'll go ahead and continue. The first thing we do is select which weeks we want this schedule that we're about to create to be applied to. I'm just going to do the month of March so that we can have a little test run for this schedule that we're about to create before getting too deep into the year. And then we have 2 ways that we can do this. We can either just add these weeks to the schedule, or if we have lessons already in there, we can override, which is going to delete anything that's already on these weeks and replace them with what we're about to create in planning mode. Right now, since there's nothing on the calendar, I can just select add to schedule, and let's continue. So now we are in planning mode. And as you can see, I have all of my students up here at the top. I can switch to events. Default is lessons. And I have these blocks here that I can just drag and drop onto my calendar. So it's very simple and easy. And all you need to do is create whatever schedule you would like. The default is 1 hour. And so right now I'm adding these lessons at 8 a.m. If I want to zoom in, I can do this. Now the time blocks are bigger. This is still 1 hour. It's just bigger and easier to see. And if I want to change how long each lesson takes, I can just click and drag right here. And now this one is 30 minutes. Now I can make them all 30 minutes. And then if I want to delete them, I can just hit this X right here. Now, the lesson plan that we have is for math for Violet and Dash. So I can select both of these students, and you can see that both of the students, as well as both of their subjects, are now options to drag and drop onto this calendar. So let me go ahead and drag these math lessons on. And so now the schedule is at 8 a.m. Violet is going to start her English lesson for 30 minutes. And then at 8:30, both Violet and Dash are going to start their 1 hour long math lesson. Now we have a lesson plan for Violet and Dash for math. So I'm going to go ahead and click on these lessons. You can see that they're now all glowing. And I can go ahead and link that lesson plan that we just created. And you can see right away, the lessons have been added in the order that they appear. So you can't really see it right now, but yes, it does say day 1, and then it's being cut off here, but this is day 2, day 3, day 4, and then it cycles over to day 1 of the next week of lessons. And yeah, so now I can just go ahead and create a full schedule for the entire week, and then it's going to be rolled out for these 4 weeks up through the first week of April. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Another tip while you're creating your lessons, if you have many lessons that are going to be overlapping, such as when you have 2 or more kids, you can go to this filter button down here and filter by which students you want to see. So right now I have all of Violet's lessons in there. So if I want to go and see just Dash's lessons, you'll see that these math lessons stay because Dash is also included there, but all of Violet's lessons disappear. And they're still there, it's just being filtered out. So this makes it easier to schedule overlapping lessons. All right, there we go. I have a relatively simple schedule inputted here now. And again, all of these are just general, example, geography lesson, science lesson. If you have lesson plans for these, you can just go ahead and click on them and then select the lesson plan. Obviously, there is no lesson plan on my account right now for Violet for science, so nothing's popping up. And what's going to go into the calendar is just a general science lesson for Violet and so on and so forth. But I'm pretty happy with this schedule. The only lesson plan we really need is for math, so we can keep track. The rest of them are relatively simple to just keep track of on our own, and I just want a schedule to follow every day. And so I'm going to go ahead and save this to the 4 weeks that I've selected. And there we go. Now these lessons are a part of my calendar, and I can go ahead to the other weeks and see that the lesson plan has progressed for the math lesson plan. It goes in order. This is a week that I have selected as a no school week, so this is our spring break, and so it makes sense that no lessons would be scheduled here. And then it picks back up on the next week with all of my lessons, and you can see, I can click on them to see more details. And these are the basic lessons that I don't really need a lesson plan for. I just want them to be on my calendar, on my schedule, so that I can follow along with a daily lesson plan. Now, if I want to print out this schedule so that I can follow it, I can just go down here to print schedule. This is going to print this week, or I can select a different week. For example, let's do the 8th through the 14th. And then I can also print for just one student. So if I want to hand this printout to this student so that they can follow by themselves and come and see me after and have me check their work, this is super useful. And then I'm going to go ahead and select more detailed so that we get all of the descriptions in there, grayscale so that it doesn't eat up all of the ink in my printer, and I'm going to include checkboxes so that we can check things off as we go. I can download this PDF. And that's what it looks like. So this is just Violet's lessons. You can see it goes from English to math to science, Spanish, and history. And if I wanted to, for example, do all students, so I have a sort of master sheet for myself, I'll go ahead and not make it grayscale for this one, and then I'll have a more simplified layout just so that I can see everything a little bit clearer. Download this PDF. And there we go. Now I have a full schedule, a sort of master sheet across all of my students.